So how you doing?
I'm doing great, just doing what needs to be done. And
What does that mean?
I'm sorry, Dad.
Why don't we just have lunch and talk? We can do that, right? Please. You think that you have this under control.
I understand why I do things. It doesn't make me any different. You're just embarrassed because I was like this amazing thing, like your special creation or something, and you don't like who I am now.
It was so realistic. I was trying to think in my head if there was a movie that you could share with people that they could watch kind of in anticipation of seeing this movie on its release. I don't know if there is one, because I don't know that I've ever seen addiction portrayed like this. Was that an impression that you got when you were first familiar with the project?
I think that's why we were both attracted to it in the first place. That it felt like, and the memoirs felt this way as well. Very honest and unflinching and self-aware. I think in reading Beautiful Boy specifically, I got the sense that he was really bearing his soul and allowing. I ultimately saw it as a real generosity, because he's sharing this story for the benefit of anyone else who has been involved with this world and had to deal with these things. So I felt it was very raw and very honest and complicated. It doesn't fall into the cliches that I think you could easily fall into, and that's why I was drawn to it.
Was there something from the rehearsal process that kind of changed over time as you guys started filming, that was based more on the emotions coming out of your work together?
I think that was the impression from the get-go, and this isn't a biopic, and certainly like Nick and Steve has told me, David as well, like they were incredibly generous, and they're generous in spirit and license for us to be able to primarily get what a father and son's relationship would look like. When I tried it, I felt better than I ever had, so I just kept on doing it.
I thought with this movie, more than a lot of others that I've seen, I just felt that it was so realistic that I was watching real life unfold on screen. And because most of your scenes are kind of isolated from everyone else, was there something in particular that really surprised you about the final product of the movie?
Well, I love the way Felix plays with time and therefore memory, and so how scenes intercut, or images of them as a young boy, and then, there he is off to college, because that, being a parent, that's the one thing you say all the time, it just goes so fast, how they get so big, and then seeing that unfold in the 2 hours of this film, and you can't hold on to life as much in these moments as much as you really dearly want to. So I thought that worked so beautifully in the film.
Can you talk about working with the director, and how was he giving you context? Because you had the script certainly, but was he giving you context in the ways that this was fitting in as you went along?
We obviously we had this well-written script, and we had these two incredible memoirs to draw from. And from that, though, Felix was very open, and a lot of rehearsals in the beginning were just for me and Timothée to be comfortable with each other and find the rhythms of those scenes, and we stretched them every which way. And if I'd say, well, what did happen? And he's like, it's okay, we can interpret what it is here for us. And so it didn't feel like you had to be so constrained into someone else's exact memory, but because we're never going to be exactly like the real human beings. But.
Kind of the tricky part.
Right.
You want to do it justice, but at the same time it's an interpretation.
Yeah. Yes.
There are moments that I look at him and I wonder who he is.
How's our boy, David?
I'm not giving up now.
Never.
I wanted to talk about your reasoning behind kind of going back and forth in time and the way that the movie was edited, because it makes perfect sense in how it seems like a memory.
It is inspired by 2 books, 2 memoirs, and they kind of do the same thing. They tell a story over many, many years. I mean, if we wanted this movie to be epic, it had to do that too somehow in the movie. It's a long process. It's not and it's a very organic process. And obviously it was in the script already that way, but we do, when I go into the edit room, rethink a bunch of stuff. An emotional roller coaster where it's less cerebral. In writing, the reasoning to cut back and forth, which was included in the script, is cerebral, whereas once you're watching a movie, it just has to work emotional.
What you have, you're gonna find it again. You're gonna get it back. Do you know how much I love you? I love you more than everything.
Everything.
Everything. Everything.